All right. Good morning. This is Senate Health and Welfare. It is February 27th, and we're here this morning very briefly to look at two bills, one H 469, and we failed to consider a vote on Friday, and so we're bringing that up now for discussion and possible vote. So Jen, is there anything additional on 469?
Jennifer Kirby, Legislative Council. Nothing additional on H 469 so far. You've been looking at the version as passed by the House. And just for by way of reminder, this is an act relating to remote and electronic processes for executing an advance directive. That's a topic of any shuttle bill.
All right. Committee questions for Jen? Discussion? All right, I'd entertain a motion.
Whoa. I just swept into this. Can you give me a minute to get situated, please? Thank you. Please and thank you. But sure, go ahead. You can make a motion. As long as I move that we vote favorably H 469 as passed by the House.
To the full Senate.
To the full Senate. And all the things we're supposed to say.
Okay. All right, and I'm going to touch base. I'm going to ask if we can vote for this and then hold the vote open very briefly for Senator Williams and Senator Weeks, because we have been through the bill with them. So clerk.
What version of this bill?
Just as passed by.
Yes. Good.
Okay, are you gonna report?
Well, I was gonna see if anyone who would like to report, I would accept that. I might ask Senator Weeks if he'd like to report. I'll see what his thoughts are.
Okay. If he doesn't wanna do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
Be simple. Okay, so we shall go ahead with the vote. Senator Gulick, AKA me, I am a yes. Senator Harvey, yes. And Chair Lyons.
Yes. And so,
We'll leave it open.
yes, let's leave it open, just until we are coming back here, while we're on the floor.
Sounds good.
That'd be good. All right, thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay, Katie, we are on S 192, and we do have a proposed amendment. And let me just share with you the history of the amendment. Katie, you can fill in the gaps.
Sure.
After we passed the bill out, I had communication from one of the victims' mothers about the bill, and was concerned that there might not be notice given to victims for folks with mental illnesses when someone is in the criminal system and who has mental illness who's committed an egregious crime. So I looked through the bill and I said, gee, I thought we had done this. But there was not clarity that we had done it adequately. I couldn't find reference in statute, so I sent it off to Katie to help with that. And then Katie followed up agreeing that we probably needed to have some language. And then after that, Karen Barber and some of the victims' relatives discussed this, and Katie discussed it with Karen. And so we have a proposed amendment. Katie, you can tell us what it does exactly.
Sure.
And I was in this as well. It's been an interesting weekend and day.
It was a busy weekend.
It was a busy weekend.
See, here it is. So this, Katie McGlynn, Office of Legislative Counsel. This amendment has two instances of amendments. The first instance is what Senator Lyons was just discussing. So what it does is mechanically, it takes the section 4 of the committee report out of the bill puts in a new section 4. It retains all of the language in subsection A that you added without any changes. And instead, further down in the existing law in that section, it makes an amendment there. So down in subsection C, there's existing language that when a person is to meet certain criteria to be discharged from the custody of the Commissioner of Mental Health, that the commissioner has to notify the prosecutor, and then the prosecutor would provide notice to the victim if the victim hasn't opted out. So that's existing law. What's being added here is that forensic facility is being added to the list of places where notice would be given after discharge from. So at least 10 days prior to discharging a person from, you'll see it's either the care and custody of the commissioner or a hospital, a forensic facility, or a secure residential recovery facility to a community order. So if somebody is leaving a facility and going to a community custody order, those are the situations in which notice is given. So we're just adding forensic facility to that list there. And then further down in this paragraph 2, we're adding a sentence that would allow a victim to provide a victim impact statement. So the existing language, when the prosecutor receives notice, the office is to provide notice of the action to any victim of the offense for which the person has been charged, who is not opted out of receiving that notice. The new language is that a victim receiving notice pursuant to this subdivision 2 has the right to submit a victim impact statement to the family division of the Superior Court in writing or through the prosecutor.
Yes. So, is victim defined somewhere in the statute?
It is, it's defined in your bill, and I wanted to see if it applies here.
So I'm just wondering, in the case, for example, we heard, yeah, if someone is killed, does their family count as victim?
That's been my interpretation, but we should.
Yeah, I thought that was the case, but I wanted
I
to,
wanna look at it, and I
so
think
we
we
don't have to
only,
have another one.
I think we only have cross reference. I have to pull it up. So it's 13.
And I think we're on page 2. I think.
Victim means a person who sustains physical, emotional, or financial injury or death as a direct result of the commission or attempted commission of a crime or act of delinquency, and shall also include the family members of a minor, a person who has been found to be incompetent, or a homicide victim.
Is that in our bill?
It's cross-referenced.
Okay, yeah,
Which is-
which section is it?
It's located on page 17 of your report.
Okay,
Yeah,
As used in this.
that's
and that
helpful.
would that count on both sections?
I want to, so as used in this section,
Does it need to be 13 and 18, right?
well, we have it cross-referenced in the correct chapter in the intellectual disability context, but this section 4, I think it falls outside of this chapter.
I'm looking at
4822. It's not in this chapter.
chapter 206.
So let me see if they cross-reference to this section.
That's intellectual disability that you had, but it's the cross-reference in,
That's what I'm working
yeah.
on. Give me 1 second.
That's in 13 VSA 52. What's that?
Yeah. It's not in the same chapter, so I probably wouldn't hurt to add it, you just see if it's anywhere in this text.
Probably should
this section.
button it up,
Yeah,
button it down, as they say.
oh, victim has the same meaning as in 4301. It's already there.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's there.
We're good. Yeah.
Is it in our bill? No.
It's in the existing language, so
In
it
the
would
existing,
apply to the
okay.
language you just added.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
That's a good question.
Okay, so that is the first instance of amendments. As promised, there are two instances. So if you scroll down further, page 5, line 8 is where the second instance of amendment begins. This is a concern that was raised by Stuart Sharp. It's a technical fix. So I think it would be easier for me to describe what it does first, and then I'll walk you through the language. So if you remember, you had crafted section 8847 in the intellectual disability section to relate to discharges. And subsection A sort of teed up, okay, there could be discharges through the family division in these instances, there could be an administrative discharge. So that's what's in the bill, your committee report. And then Stuart was raising, well, good point. Now that you have the automatic 90-day review and that you've decided that it's the committee report that's going to be doing that review, which would be the criminal division if it's an initial order. That means that sometimes the criminal division could be discharging somebody from a forensic facility. Because that's what they're reviewing. They're reviewing placement at a forensic facility. So this rewrites that sentence to acknowledge that, yes, because we have this automatic 90-day review, sometimes it could be the criminal division that is reviewing placement at a forensic facility and possibly discharging the person from a forensic facility if the placement is not the appropriate place for the person after 90 days. So, you know, the whole sentence is rewritten, it looks different, but that is sort of the purpose of it. So the lead-in language is different, a person committed under 13 VSA 4823 or this subchapter may be discharged as follows. First is your new subdivision by a criminal division of the Superior Court after an automatic 90-day review of the placement at a forensic facility pursuant to 8845E. And then and 2, by the family division after judicial review of an order, continued order, or placement at a forensic facility, they can make a decision about any of those things. Similarly, the administrative order by the commissioner regarding all of those categories, again, commitment, continued commitment, and placement at a forensic facility. So that is what that technical change does.
And then after this in the bill is the thing about the review, the potential review by the section in the bill where this goes.
Yeah, so what follows this is subsection B, which deals with discharge from the family division. And then subsection C, which deals with administrative discharges.
Right, and that you can appeal and that
Yeah.
one could appeal.
All of that.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
moving that,
That's
this
not
is
changing.
just changing A, like taking out that A and putting in this A.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions for Katie? I'm really glad that we can resolve the problem. Before it's up on the floor, it is currently in appropriations. The bill was sent there on Friday. So there's a little bit of time. And I am talking with judiciary this morning very briefly about the bill, and I'll bring up the proposal amendment that I'm totally with it yet, but I get it. Okay, committee, questions for Katie, discussion?
Do we have to vote on it? Or-
Yeah, well, here's the question. No, we don't vote on it, but you can add your name to it if you would like to do that. We can't do a committee proposal of amendment, but it would be nice to have it be from members of the committee if that's possible.
You can add my name to it.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Just Senator Hardy.
No, I.
I'm okay with it, but
Okay, all right, it really, Kev, before you came in, I talked about the genesis of this. It was really brought to my attention by, families, a family of the victim, that victim notice, was not adequate in the bill for those, who have committed an egregious crime, who have a mental health issue. So then, in conversation with Katie and then with Karen Barber, and Karen Barber actually reaching out with, it's my understanding, reaching out with the victim's parents, were able to come to this language that puts that contact in, and the ability for the victim to be involved when folks are discharged or commitment is changed. That's it. Okay. So we don't have to vote on this. Let me know if you'd like to have your name on the proposal, and I'll give that to Katie. And I think we are finished until there may be about 2 minutes after the floor.
Do we wanna see if Senator Williams wants to vote on this?